when I was on the last video, none of y'all could hear me or I couldn't tell who was in here. So hopefully y'all can hear this video. Please let me know whether you can hear me. So this weight loss video is going to change the game for y'all. Okay, you're going to find that you're losing weight and you're not trying, and you almost got to remind yourself to eat, y'all. This is crazy in here. If y'all knew how hard it is for me to overeat now, y'all would be like, wow, what did you do, Miss V? How did you fix it? But I'm going to tell y'all what I did, okay? Some of y'all got to stop front carb loading. Some of y'all got to stop doing that. I know that y'all glamorize stacking your carbs in the morning hours. But I'm telling y'all no lie, stop doing that, okay? When you stack your carbs and then you eat your protein and fats like 2 hours later, you don't know how fast your body broke down that morning carb load. So it might be actually still breaking down when you eat your protein and fat. So basically, you're just like cramming it all together in your stomach. And then what happens is your body starts to feel like it's toxic and fatigue. So keep your morning carb half the amount. So like 150 calories worth of grains, and the rest of it has to be fruit. Okay? Now you can sprinkle a little sugar on your fruit in your grains, but do not eat 300 calories worth of grains. I know y'all been told that, but y'all got to understand the people that's eating that much in grains, they are lifting some serious weights. They are like going 3 hours in the gym after they eat that. If you're not going to do like 2 hours in the gym at least, keep your morning carbs down to half the amount, like the amount you would give a little kid. Okay, if you would give a kid 1 pack of oatmeal, that's what you have. The rest of it has to come from fruit. Now, you're going to put a little bit of butter in your grains so that your hunger gets curved. That little bit of butter is going to curve your morning hunger. Now, if you haven't been having regular bowel movements, you need to take something first in the first hour woke and get yourself to have a bowel movement. Whether it's drinking lemon water, baking soda, and sea salt water, flush, just to get that first morning bowel movement in. This is going to decrease the toxins in your body, and it's going to decrease the odds of you craving through your day. So, first hour woke, you have a bowel movement. Whether you had some coffee to make yourself go, or you had some maca green tea, China green tea to make yourself go to the bathroom, or you did a saltwater flush. Okay? All right. Look at this harassment. Shut up. You let it go. You let it go. Get up out of here. Okay? Because I still get my money through my Cash App. So you're wasting your time. Why do people think that people don't get money in their Cash App on YouTube? We do. Just because y'all see somebody's views low sometime, don't mean they're not getting money. So you may be actually just wasting your time. So you can take this free advice and be humble and say thank you, or you can go to somebody else. Okay? You want to lose weight without trying to lose weight. You want to lose weight without taking all these weight loss pills, doing all this crazy stuff, endless cardio. You don't want to have to do none of that. You want to lose weight without having to do 4 or 5 mile walks, all that ridiculous workout. And I'm telling y'all how to do it, okay? You got to have that morning bowel movement. First thing in the morning, first hour woke, first 2 hours woke, you want to try to have a bowel movement. Your first meal is going to only be like 150 calories coming from carbs. carby food like oatmeal, bagels, bread. Then you want to stock it with fruit. The fruit has to be sweet. It has to be really sweet fruit. Otherwise, you're not going to get the rest of your energy. Now, what you can do is take a tablespoon, a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon of sugar and put it in your fruit. Okay, only a teaspoon. That is going to give you a pick-me-up. Now, you want to put a little bit of butter on your bagel or on your bread or whatever grain you're eating. A little bit of butter. That's going to curb your hunger. Now, from then on, you have to be hydrating yourself from there on out. Whether it's drinking vegetable broth, chicken broth, hydration water, you have to hydrate really good after your first little meal. Then by the third hour, you're going to be like, oh, I'm hungry. What you're going to do with that, with your actual breakfast meal, you're going to make sure that your fats are not that high. Okay? So you still want to keep your fats well under 30 grams. So 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, or 3 pieces of bacon, 2 eggs, and a piece of cheese. That will keep your fats low enough where you won't start to get hungry because you ate too many fats, or you won't get fatigue. Now, what you want to do after that is make sure that you're hitting your protein marks for lunch and dinner. Notice that's 4 meals you're having. 4 meals. You're having at least 4 meals. There's the little meal, there's a pick-me-up meal, and then there's the breakfast, lunch, and dinner meal. So for your lunch, it could be fish, tuna, with another 150 calories of grain carbs. Don't eat all your carbs in one meal, one sitting. That's a trap. If you're not busting it out in the gym for 2-3 hours, do not have all your carbs in one sitting. You want to spread it out. So you want 150 carbs, 150 calories from carbs on your first meal. Your third meal, which is going to be actually your lunch. Then you can have another 150 carbs with like fish and a little bit of fat, which could be a little bit of dressing on your fish. Okay. Then after that, you're going to hydrate some more. Then you're getting into your dinner. So your dinner still has to be like 30 to 40 grams of protein. You are not going to have any more calories from carbs, unless you burned at least 150 calories. So unless you burn 150 calories, you do not get to have another carb with your dinner. Okay? What's going to happen is you're going to be like well over your carb intake, and you're going to find it's going to take your body longer to get into ketosis when you go to sleep. So unless you went on like a 4-mile walk and you burned 150 calories, you get to have no grains, no bread with your dinner. None. You're going to get your energy from your fruit, your salad, and your meat. Now you can have red wine with your dinner. Now let's say you're a little bit hungry between lunch and dinner. What you don't want to do is have a fatty lunch. If you have yogurt, it has to be fat-free yogurt. Your snack between lunch and dinner needs to be fat-free, or like only 1 gram of fat, or 2, which means you can have a cup of hot cocoa. Okay? You can have a cup of hot cocoa between lunch and dinner. I think there's only 1 or 2 grams of fat in most hot cocoa. Or you can have a small handful of seeds. That could be your snack before dinner. Okay? Remember that you want to cut back on your fat as your day decreases. So you don't increase your fat. The most of your fat intake is going to be by lunchtime. After that, you want to crash the hell out of your fat. Okay? So if you're going to eat most of your fat after lunch, that means you should have very little fat before lunch. That would be like Friday night. Like, let's say you want to go out with your friends Friday night and you're going to have pizza. Make sure that all day long you was eating pretty fat-free foods. This way you can have 2 slices of pizza Friday night with your friends after you come from the club. Okay? So don't say I didn't help y'all. When I tell y'all going to be like, I could barely eat my maintenance. Y'all going to find it so hard to just eat at your maintenance. Now, what you're going to make sure is that you get at least 7 hours of sleep. If you got to buy sleeping medicine, put yourself back to sleep. You need to actually try to stretch it to 9 hours of sleep. Because if you're asleep, you're not eating. Plus, you're definitely getting into the ketosis window. So if you get up and you're like, I only slept for 5 hours, immediately take some sleeping medicine and go back to sleep. You want to be asleep when some of the hunger starts so that you don't feel the hunger. You are asleep. In the 90s, we were drinking and knocking ourselves out. We were dancing ourselves to death Fridays and Saturdays, and then drinking and passing out. So we were getting at least 7 hours of sleep because we were exhausted. Some of y'all are not sleeping 7, 8 hours because you're not exercising enough. You're not working out to exhaustion. So this is why your body feels like it doesn't need the extra sleep, the extra couple hours. Doesn't need 7 hours. You want to try to make your body need 8 hours of sleep. Whether it's working out before you go to bed. Do a dance workout, cheer workout, something. Run your energy down before you go to bed so you can get a full 8 hours sleep. Okay? There's some of the people that's losing weight without trying. They are doing things with their man in bed every night. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Or they are at the gym for an hour and a half before they go to bed. Or they're dancing in the nightclubs before they go to bed. Or they're working out. So that's why their sleep is deep and long and good. So find a way to get to sleep deep, to get yourself to sleep deep and longer. Now, once you lose the weight, if you want to go ahead and gamble with your sleep and let sleep less, fine. But until you lose the weight started coming off a lot, you want to try to you want to sleep more. Sleep 8 hours and take a nap. Okay? Go out there and find some napping medicine that you could take. The more sleep you can get, the better during your weight loss journey. Okay? Remember, do not carb load if you are overweight because you already have insulin resistance. Most likely, last thing you want to do is front carb load. Now, front carb load is okay if you have insulin resistant. If you like to do a hard morning workout to failure, then okay. But if you ain't working out to failure in the morning hours, you might as well just cut your carbs in half and have some fruit. Now, what I like to do is between my breakfast and my lunch, I like to have tea or coffee with 2 tablespoons of sugar in it. What this is doing is keeping me from loading my body up with extra fruit. Now, some of y'all, you can have a spoonful of jelly. You can have a spoonful of jelly between breakfast and lunch, Or you can have a small cup of coffee, a medium-sized cup of coffee if you like coffee, and put 2 tablespoons of sugar in it. But you have to make sure your whatever cream or milk you're putting in there has low fat. Now, if some of y'all don't want to do that, you can put 2 tablespoons of sugar in some water and your hydration water and drink that between breakfast and lunch. You have to make sure you're not going very long with very low blood sugar, because then you're going to start craving and then you may overeat. So normally right like 45 minutes before it's time to eat again, your blood sugar may crash. So that's when you have a sweet snack. And then 45 minutes later to an hour later, your body is ready to eat another meal. Okay? Now, for some people like to have wine between their meals because it's sweet. A short glass of wine is only 100 calories. Plus, it relaxes them, so it relieves them of their stress. This way, they don't crave. So, if you're a wine head, you may want to have a short Asian cup of wine between your breakfast and lunch, and between lunch and dinner, and at dinner. If you want to do it like that, that will equal almost a full glass of wine, which means it will be about 200 calories total that you had in wine for the day. Okay? All right. You can take a shot of whiskey between your meals. For some people, they take shots of whiskey because whiskey helps to actually clean up your gut health. It helps to detox. So someone I know that was in the Navy that was ripped all the way until like 65, 60 something years old, they always had a short glass of whiskey between 2 of their meals. So it's all up to you how you want to go about it. Do not use junk food for stress. You're better off, if you're a wine drinker, having a short glass of wine than eating some fatty junk food, because then that's going to make you eat more food and you're going to gain weight. You're going to mess up your diet. So, wine doesn't have really any fat in it. So you're safer drinking a short glass of wine, between your meals than some junk food. All right, y'all, I helped y'all. Enjoy the video.